Hello students, today we will discuss about ecological pyramids. The food chain in an ecosystem consists of several food levels extending from the primary producers to the top carnivores. Each food level is a step in the food chains and the various steps are interconnected with each other, giving to the ecosystem a definite trophic and functional structure. The interrelationship between the successive food levels may be expressed in terms of number of individuals, biomass, or energy flow. The relationship can be expressed graphically by diagrams called ecological pyramids. At the base of a pyramid are the primary producers, green plants, and the apex is occupied by the top carnivores with the herbivores and intermediate carnivores, occupying the successive food levels. Ecological pyramids may be constructed on the basis of numbers of individuals in each trophic level, biomass, or the rate of energy flow. First of all, we'll take the pyramid of numbers. Here, the number of individuals in the various trophic levels per unit area at any time is taken into account. The shape of the pyramid depends upon the size of individual of primary producers. If the primary producers are small sized as compared to the consumers, the pyramid is upright. An example of such a pyramid is met within a pond. The primary producers, the diatoms and the green algae phytoplankton, are minute organisms, but their number is very large and they form the broad base of the pyramid. As you can see in this diagram, at the base there is the number of diatoms, the green algae phytoplanktons. It is high, and that is why the base is broad. Above it are the herbivores, represented by fish, followed by the top carnivores like the heron or stork. As the number of individuals goes on decreasing in the successive trophic levels, the result an upright triangular pyramid. ये क्या होता है? The number जो होता है वो कम होता जाता है ऊपर की तरफ टॉप कार्निवोर्स में, इसलिए जो pyramid है that is upright. Similar pyramids are met with a grassland and a crop field. In either case, the number of primary producers is the largest, and the number of successive consumer levels goes on decreasing. As you can see in this diagram also, it is a upright pyramid of numbers in a grassland or a crop field. You can see C1, and they are the herbivores, then C2 carnivores, and C3 they are the top carnivores. This is also the pyramid of number and showing the grassland. Pyramid of numbers in a grassland or crop field. Another way of depicting such a pyramid is to represent the size of the trophic level by step, and the various steps are arranged one above the other. If we don't show it like this diagrammatically, we can also make the steps. The largest step is at the base, and small steps go on at the top level. The relative size of the various steps representing the different trophic levels will vary under different situations and at different times. Where the size of individuals of the producer level is the largest and the size goes on reducing the successive consumer levels, the number of organisms in a trophic level bears an inverse relation to the size. As a result, the producer level, which always occupies the base of the pyramid, will be the smallest, followed by the increasing size of the trophic levels as we go up the food chain. The pyramid will then be inverted. You can see this. An example provided by this is it is a tree ecosystem. You can see in this diagram, the tree is in the at the base, and it is of the minimum number. and the single tree is a producer. It is a producer. On it live large number of herbivores, birds. On the body of each bird feed a number of lice and bugs. This type of pyramid also can be represented by the step down. In the step down diagram, you can make the step longest at the topmost position and the small step at the base. The shape of the pyramid of numbers may sometimes show deviations from the above pattern. In a temperate forest in summer, for example, the primary producers consist of trees and the undergrowth of green plants on the forest floor. The number of herbivore birds and other animals that feed on the vegetation is much larger than that of P. The number of carnivores, C2, and top carnivores again decreases. This results in an irregular pyramid. In this pyramid, you will see that the steps which are made, or the diagram which is made, it is irregular because the number is not appropriate at each trophic level. Now next we will take the pyramid of biomass. This depicts the relationship between the different trophic levels of an ecosystem on the basis of living weight, fresh or dry weight. If the biomass of the individual producers is large, the biomass of successive consumer levels shows a progressive decrease, with the result that the biomass pyramid is upright, as you can see in this diagram. The biomass pyramid in a grassland and a crop field is also an upright pyramid. Sometimes the biomass pyramid is inverted. This happens when the individuals of the primary producer levels are small sized and the size of consumers shows progressive increase in the case of pond ecosystem. Here you can see inverted pyramid of a pond ecosystem. Here the number is too large, but the biomass is less. So the pyramid becomes inverted. Next is the pyramid of energy. A fundamental principle of ecology is that the energy flows through the food chain in the ecosystem in several steps till it reaches the top carnivores. At every step, commencing with the primary producers, a considerable decrease in the energy content takes place due to the loss of energy by radiation. The result is that as we go on up the food chain, in the energy content of the several trophic levels progressively decreases, regardless of the number of biomass of trophic levels. The pyramid of energy is therefore always upright. You can now say that the pyramid of energy is always upright. In a pyramid of energy flow in a grass, flow in a pond, grassland, and tree ecosystem, respectively. In an aquatic ecosystem like the pond, the biomass pyramid is inverted, with the producers having the least biomass, yet the pyramid of energy is upright. The reason for this is that the metabolic rate of phytoplankton is the highest in the ecosystem, and the phytoplankton population reproduces much more rapidly, producing larger number of new generations in a given time than the consumers. As a result of these two factors, the net primary productivity is much higher than the secondary productivity of the consumers in spite of the larger biomass of the latter. So this was about the ecological pyramids, that we can diagrammatically show the food chain. In this, according to the pyramid of numbers, then the pyramid of biomass, we can say the pyramid of number, it can be upright, and in the pyramid of numbers it can be inverted also. And then the pyramid of numbers, and then the pyramid of biomass. It can also be upright, and it can also be inverted. And then the pyramid of energy. This pyramid of energy, it is always upright. So this was all about the pyramid of energy.